Welcome back everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Builds, and today we're dealing with the 2025 Ferrari F80. So this now has 1,555 horsepower, 1,041 pounds-feet of torque from a 3.6 litre twin turbocharged V6 engine, plus its hybrid system that it has already in the car. As this engine is the original, it's just been upgraded, so the hybrid system hasn't been removed as a result of that. And the car now weighs 2,627 pounds. It still has its all-wheel drive system, but it now has off-road tyres and rally suspension, and it can now do 0 to 60 in 3.403 seconds, 0 to 104.559 seconds, and given enough space it would get up to 263 miles an hour. So yeah, this is actually the first Ferrari that we've used on this series. I do believe it's actually the first Italian car that we've also had on this series as well, now looking at it, and yeah, that's the case. So yeah, going to be interested to see what this can do. Obviously it's not a car that is meant for going off-road. Yes, it had its all-wheel drive system native to the car, but that certainly wasn't meant for, you know, using it going off-road or anything like that. But it does have a huge amount of power, it doesn't weigh all that much at all, and it's going to have a lot of aerodynamic downforce helping it get around the corners as well. So even though it's technically got less grip with those off-road tyres, particularly when it comes to on-road racing, it's certainly not going to be lacking for it when going off-road due to that downforce and those tyres being quite large and chunky. So yeah, so let's get out there and see what it can do. It's going to be really interesting because yeah, it's a properly quick car, but not the quickest in terms of acceleration, weirdly enough, in terms of 0 to 60 in particular. The GR Corolla in the previous episode, for instance, was faster to 60 than this. I can only imagine that is because it was lighter, but, oh, maybe not even lighter. Yeah, it wasn't lighter actually. Maybe just the gearing, I'm not sure, but regardless of that car having better acceleration than this, it was quite uncontrollable at times. And as a result, even though it wasn't the slowest car that we've had on this series so far, it was hardly the quickest either. It's got a little bit of understeer in the slower corners, but once we start speeding up, you can definitely feel that downforce working well. Oh dear, that's the first fail on the ramp. Yeah, we just got a little bit too wide there. We'll have to slow down a little bit to get it up properly. Well, mostly properly. Yeah, we completely have screwed that entry up. For whatever reason, the Ferrari has been the first one to, not succeed at the ramp on the first attempt. Oh dear, completely missed it that time around. We were just carrying too much speed into the corner beforehand, and yeah, we missed the checkpoint there because the nose buried into the ground and speared us off into the woods, which is obviously not helpful. Oh, this has been a little bit trickier than I expected it to be honest. I would have expected this car to have done well here, but yeah, it impacted the ramp quite heavily there as well, and then on the landing the nose again dug into the ground, which is not helpful. So the jumps are not this car's strong point, it seems. Certainly not getting onto them either. Yeah, it definitely feels like there's a lot of understeer at play here, which could be a combination of the additional amount of power, because this does have more than what it had originally, and the fact that these off-road tyres are not working as well as hoped. Getting more than 170 there, very nearly overshooting. Yeah, very nearly overshooting the checkpoint there. Make up for lost time basically here. I guess it should come as no surprise that a hybrid hypercar is struggling on an off-road course, but I was anticipating it to be a little bit more controllable at the very least. But despite not being wildly controllable, it's still gone into first place. 2 minutes 19.807 puts it about half a second quicker than the Nissan GT-R Nismo from 2024, which was the fastest car before this one. So yeah, despite the fact it's quite a handful, you know, it really wasn't the easiest of cars to drive, and I do apologise for all the rewinds trying to get onto that ramp, but the car really was struggling to not only get onto the ramp but also deal with the after effects of jumping off of it. So yeah, that was a little bit disappointing in that regard, but despite all of its issues, definitely gone quicker, and yeah, hard to argue with the raw time there. So yeah, just wish it was a bit more consistent and a bit more fun in terms of driving it in general, but at the end of the day, it's the time that matters, and the time is quicker. So yeah, also beats like the Mazda Furai, which I guess you could say is the closest kind of car to this one, as well as the Volkswagen Rally Golf, the Dodge Ram SRT10, and it knocks the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 6 GSR TM Edition out of the top 5. While the Honda City E2 gets knocked out of the top 10 as a result of that. So yeah, going to be interested to see what other kind of cars like this can do well here, because it's not always going to be the case that a you know, a supercar or a hypercar is going to do well here, and if there's anything like this, then they will probably have issues as well. But you know, it's clearly it was a car that was fast enough in terms of its acceleration and in terms of its some of its cornering ability to make up for any of its deficiencies. So yeah, on the whole, an impressive car. Just wish it wasn't quite so troublesome getting it to the end of the course. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.